we've made so many strides as women in this country, do you believe women are given the respect that they're due?
Respect is a word which can be interpreted very broadly. So I will narrow it down. And since it's International Women's Day and we're dealing with equity and parity and so on, I would say that in Trinidad and Tobago, we have come a long way. Our Constitution gives men and women equal rights. And therefore, I think we are way ahead of many other countries.
True.
But because we have a constitution which we respect, we do find that there must not be complacency. So we don't take it for granted that we are way ahead of many, but still we have a long road to go.
Yeah.
The road is long.
I mean, sometimes the idea of respect and what we appreciate and enjoy might well be driven by our beliefs, by our religion, by our culture. And if we're to compare ourselves to somewhere like a Middle Eastern country where the culture is so different, the religion is so different, then I think we can get an appreciation for what happens here in Trinidad and Tobago, where democracy rules, and this is, as they say, democracy is a noisy process. You get so much noise in this country. But do you think as a population we appreciate, though, the fact that we are, you know, entitled, so to speak, and enjoy this equality of treatment between man and woman, at least at the constitutional level?
I think that generally we do. And I say generally because there are so many areas still where women are not treated equally. As women, I believe that we have 24-hour jobs.
Yes.
We work 8 hours a day in what our respective areas of work would be. And then we get home. We are caregiver, we are babysitters, we are cook, we are the washerwoman.
Yeah.
So we keep on working. But you still find that the man does not always appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't appreciate the fact that we are giving our all.
Yeah.
And in that regard, we have issues because of that. In the areas where men think they are dominant, they then dominate. And this is where we then have all the problems that we have, whether it be domestic violence, sexual abuse, sexual harassment in the workplace, and so on. And those are the things which we need eventually to deal with.
Yes. I agree. I definitely agree. And, you know, especially here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have, just like other Caribbean islands right across the world, we have the issue of domestic violence and, you know, just that appreciation for what each person brings to the table. But, you know, as the wife of the Prime Minister, and he's been, it seems, in public life most of his life, have you as a woman suffered any hardship as a result of that?
The word hardship. Now, what I would say is, because, for instance, Keith and I got married in 1985. In 1986, he became an opposition senator. And thereafter, he was very much involved in building the party. So a lot of his time was taken up with the PNM, building the PNM. So we went from stage to stage.
Yeah.
So then you go on to opposition leader. Then you become prime minister. So there have been sacrifices. Sacrifices within the household, because of course he is now serving the country.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And what he's doing is for the future of Trinidad and Tobago, the future of our children, our grandchildren, and everybody else's. So that it is something that I accept, and we move to suit.
Yeah.
I filled the role sometimes of father and mother, but he always found the time to be there for the girls. We would go on vacations every year, so at least he had special time with them.
Well, was it difficult for you, though, as a wife? Because it's one thing to accept that, you know, your husband is in the spotlight. He's serving the population, and as much as you benefit from that as a citizen, but as a wife, you said there was always sacrifice, so you had to give up some time.
Of course.
Yeah.
But again, I can't be selfish, He's serving the country. I appreciate that. You play second fiddle to the country.
Yeah.
I don't mind playing second fiddle to the country.
Well, I must say you play the second fiddle very well. I don't hear anybody complaining.
Yes.
You know, so that's good.
Yes.
But, you know, I always wondered what it would be like, you know, having somebody who is in public life. And it now brings you, as his female half, into the spotlight. What has that been like for you? Constantly being in the spotlight because your husband is now the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
So that for a person who was never involved in politics, you know, I went to vote when I turned 18 and I would vote thereafter. But politics was not a mainstay in my household. So I'm not going to say that I went kicking and screaming into this thing. I say I married a geologist. I didn't marry a politician. And I then became the wife of a politician, the wife of the opposition leader, the wife of the Prime Minister. And if I may say so myself, I have fitted into the rules as best as I could.
Are there any special duties that you have to perform as the wife of the Prime Minister?
No, actually it is nothing like the First Lady of the United States, who has rules to play. I have no specific rule.
Right.
I would accept rules. So you would find that I have been asked to be patron of certain groups, organizations, and depending on whether I have an interest in it, I feel passionate about it, I would accept. So that I am the patron of the Caribbean Association of Oncology and Hematology, which really is a Caribbean association which deals with improving cancer care throughout Trinidad and Tobago and throughout the Caribbean. And I had a specific interest in that because my mother died of colon cancer and other family members. So, you know, you have an interest in seeing that there's an improvement in the field, seeing that there is screening. So when the regional corporation would ask me, can I use your, feature you on a flyer? Sure, I don't mind doing that if it is going to encourage people to come in to do their cervical cancer screening, because that's a particular interest of mine. In fact, I, it's now 2 years, started a cervical cancer program, but it was, because of COVID, we find it's on the back burner, but as soon as things ease up, I intend to push it further. Also institutions or organizations, non-government organizations, which deal with children, women and children, again, a specific interest in that. So I involved or I show an interest in the Down syndrome, in WAND, which is needy women, I should say, and TOTO, which is a non-governmental organization, again, which deals with young people and aiming to better their lives. So just recently they have done a device distribution throughout Trinidad and Tobago, husband and wife who are just taking this forward. So I get involved.
Yes, so you do a lot of voluntary work to help in specific things. Well, I'm definitely happy to hear that, and especially when it comes on to, you know, the spending some attention looking at cancer, especially that we realize that this is something that's affecting so many of us. It's either we know somebody, we heard of somebody, somebody who is close to us. I remember my first legitimate scare was a 34-year-old cousin of mine, Romaine, male, and found a huge lump in his breast and had to immediately go into surgery and remove that. And it's because it was cancerous, and so now he spends the next 15 years being on these tablets to try to ensure that he stays free. You know, so that for me was, it was the closest call, and I just remember how panicky, you know, I was looking at this young male with 2 children and, you know, wondering what was going to be happening to him. And
you see what you're saying there, because women think that it's only women who get breast cancer. So we go along merrily and men feel, okay, this could never happen to me. But it happens, and yours is an example. But as you use that as your example, I always remember, I mean, you hear people had cancer, you hear people, I mean, I had a cousin-in-law who had cancer for most of her life, but she was able to deal with it. And when I was 19, I was going off to university in Barbados, and I discovered this lump in my breast. So I went to the university doctor, and she didn't do an ultrasound. She just tested and so on. You need to have surgery right away. So of course I was panicked. For that week before I did the surgery, I thought, okay, am I going to die? What is going to happen? And so on. Eventually, it turned out to be benign.
Right.
But there's that scare that you get, particularly when there's a diagnosis of cancer, whether it be colon cancer, whatever type of cancer, there is a fear. There is hope, and we hope that the figures are reduced from 1 in 8 to 0.
Yes.
But we can only hope for that.
Yeah, I went through that scare too. I was just a little bit older than you are. I was 21. And I was at college, and I remember my history teacher is the one who said to me, no, Natalie, go and check it out. But thank God, again, it was benign, and it disappeared after a while. But yeah, I think so many of us have those stories as women. You know, but here we are celebrating International Women's Day. So maybe part of International Women's Day, we can tell them, encourage them to get screening.
Oh, definitely.
You know what's happening with their body.
Definitely. Number one requirement, because the more that you are screened, they can deal with you immediately.
So true.
So we have to hope for that.
So you all are going to have to tune in to the No Morning Show on TTT every Thursday at 7:20. We do have a new segment, Your Body and You, where we're going to be exploring every single issue that affects you as a man or as a woman. Once it's a part of your body, we'll be talking about it. What is it that you think makes the woman unique, make her special?
Just by being a woman. But apart from that, I think generally we could say that we are nurturing.
Yes.
That is the main feature about us, characteristic. We are strong-willed, or we can be strong-willed, and I'm dealing with that ideal woman, and compassionate.
Or empathy, yes.
Empathy is there, and I think that's where we have that edge.
Agreed. Definitely. I think that's what separates us. It's not even the body parts, it's just our ability to empathize and to care. And it doesn't mean that men aren't like that, but I think for us it's just that at a different level.
That's right.
You know, every time when you speak of a man and a woman, what separates them?
Yeah.
It's their ability to care and how much they're able to express that through empathy.
Right. And I think it comes through also, you may not be a mother, but you will have the characteristics that go with it. Yeah. Again, the empathy, again, the caring, again, the nurturing. And whether we are mothers, aunts, or whatever the case may be, we show it at all times.
Yes, yes. And you're a mom. You're a mom of two. What has that journey been like?
A journey that I could repeat, and I think that says a lot. My girls have been precious. They have been the ideal daughters, if one can say that. And we are like friends, but I'm also the mother. So they confide in me. We have a really good relationship. My daughter, Sonna, lives in New York. I WhatsApp her every day, even if it means saying good night.
Yes.
And my daughter Tonya, who is here, and again, Tonya followed in my footsteps, did law. Not that she really thought that what I did, which is conveyancing, was something that was interesting. She is into litigation. She enjoys that. They have 2 wonderful husbands, and I have 2 grandsons who are both 6 and 8 months, the apples of our eye. And when I say our, I mean both Keith and I.
Yeah.
He loves them to the point of spoiling them.
so he is in grandfather mode all the time.
Total grandfather mode all the time.
That's
Nothing
so nice.
wrong must happen to them.
Yes.
You know.
And you know what? I think there's something special about being a grandparent. Yes. Because some of my happiest memories are with my grandmother. Not my mom, not my dad, but with the granny.
Seriously.
I am telling you, I loved my grandmother to the point of stupidity. I kid you not. I would have done anything anything. There wasn't, I mean, for Daddy, I'd be like, well, yeah, we'll do 1, 2, and 3, but not 4. I'll do 5, 6, 7, not 8. My grandmother, it was 1 to 100. You know, so
yes.
I know that there's something special about being a grandmother, but you don't even look like a grandmother.
Well, thank you for the flattery.
But so, talk to us, because as a wife of the Prime Minister, you seem to be one of the most influential women, especially when it comes on to the fashion. Listen, they wait. Social media waits. The population waits to see what Sharon Rowley is going to show up in at an event. How do you decide what to wear, you know, what you're going to put on? And do you think about us when you get dressed? Because you know we're waiting.
Actually, I don't mean to be like this, but no. When I say that, I dress for myself.
Yes.
I choose my clothes, as I say, if I go shopping, I mean, that's my only addiction. I love to shop. So I know myself, I know my body, I can choose something without trying on.
Yeah.
And as I was saying to you earlier, I have a fantastic seamstress, so I will go to Henry Street, buy my material, choose my fashion, design my clothes, give it to her, and I will get what I want.
So you design your clothes yourself?
Yes, of course. With the help of Facebook and so on, you know, you go on and see what's there, what do I like, and I choose, and I get it made. But there are other persons. We have such expert local designers.
Yes.
We talk about Claudia Pigas. There are so many others, Charu Luchan, Das, Geneva Henry, Marlene, who makes my clothes. So that I think our country is replete with persons who are so talented.
Yeah.
And young people too, young people upcoming and who are able to design and create clothes.
Yes.
And this is so important.
Well, I am happy to tell you, you are the ultimate fashionista, that's for sure.
Well,
but you know
you.
something we're all curious about, though? We want to fasten your business a little bit, because anytime the Prime Minister coming to these press conferences, you know, people say, all right, Mrs. Rowley put him in this means this is what we're going to get. Go into lockdown? No, things are going to be easy. Do you dress the Prime Minister?
Not at all.
You serious?
I must say, Keith likes to shop also. So that you would, you know, you wouldn't think of it. But if we happen to go abroad and we go into the mall, we say, okay, you go there, I go there. And he comes back with almost as many bags as I do, believe it or not. So he chooses, he dresses himself, you know, and he heads out. And he's come a long way, you know, I tell him that, because when I first met him, you know, he came to visit me and he will say, so did you have to say that? And he came, what I call bandlon jerseys, you know, they were these stretch jerseys and so on. And he was quite happy in his bandlon jersey and his bell-bottom denim pants.
And you were wondering what's going on with the dress code.
But he has improved considerably.
There you have it. She does not dress the Prime Minister, but come a long way from those bandlon jerseys. Well, you know what? Yes, I think he's one of those sharp dressers as well.
Yeah, yes.
You know, come out looking swanky and things.
And the clothes fit him. So he has a good body, so the clothes fit well.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't believe. I think the population is going to be disappointed, you know, because they
goodness.
always say, okay,
They
Mrs.
say,
Rowley could,
I've
yes,
seen that,
you've seen
right?
it. They
Yes,
think
I have seen that.
you know, okay, so this is what is going to happen.
It's all Keith.
Yeah.
All Keith.
All right.
I give him that.
All right, so he dresses himself. Well, I don't know that they're going to be too disappointed, except for the narrative that they had, thinking that you were the one setting him up to decide what he's going to wear to kind of convey a message through us, through the dress code about what's going to be happening. But, all right, so, but do you think that, you know, the population looking on, you know, watching Mrs. Rowley, that, you know, they try to emulate you, that they look up to you? Do you get that sense that they're invested in, you know, not only the Prime Minister, but also his wife?
I am not really on Facebook. I will probably check Keith's page and so on. So you see positive comments. And I meet young people, and this is what is actually most touching. When young people meet me and they say, you know, you are my role model.
Yes.
And in that regard, I feel special.
Yeah.
Because I feel that I must be doing something right for a young person to look at me
Yes.
and say, you are my role model. In fact, just about 2 weeks ago, a young girl from Bishop Anstey High School, she had to write about someone she admired, so she got her mother to call me and for an interview. So
Right.
she gave me the questions and so on. So I felt also as a Hilarian, also as a bishop's girl, feeling that there's some impact there.
Yes. Well, I'm definitely happy to hear that, because we
Yes.
do need role models in this country, whether
Indeed.
male or female, you know,
That's so true.
especially when we have a society that has so many single parent, be it the male or the
That's right.
female as just one parent in the house. I think the role models can definitely help.
Definitely, and I think in effecting that role model, I think it is important for parents or those who act as role models to try to raise or help raise their children with
Yeah.
respect.
True.
So those of us who have boys, we must ensure that they respect girls, they respect women. We have to encourage our girls to respect themselves. And as they say, train up a child in the way he should go, and
He'll not depart from
he
it.
will not depart from it.
Yep.
So that is our responsibility. We don't leave it to the teachers. We are the parents. We must take that responsibility. We have brought these children into the world, and it is for us to see them through.
Yeah.
And this is where we as a mother, we as a parent, we as an adult, we must be that role model,
What do you
male
s-
and female.
What do you say to those young girls who look up to you, who want to emulate you?
You know, I say, let not gender guide your aspirations. You can be the person you want to be. Dream big, reach for the stars.
Yes.
Be your own person. And as the hashtag for International Women's Day says, but the media one, choose to challenge. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to be the best that you can be. Be your authentic self.
Yeah, challenge the
Yeah.
circumstances too.
Circumstances.
Yeah, the
right.
environment.
That's right.
Mhm.
And it matters not where you come from. You
I
know?
agree.
It matters not where you come from. And but you can take yourself out of these areas. If you come from one of those areas they call a hot spot, you be you. You don't have to be really influenced by the negatives, because there are only a few persons who really are the negative influences in these areas. There's so many persons who are positive thinking, who do well.
Yeah.
So you emulate those persons.
I definitely agree. And you're
Yeah.
right. I think sometimes people use their circumstances as excuse.
That's right.
As excuse not to try, because it's so much easier to hold on to, you know, what's
Yeah.
keeping you back,
That's
or what you
right.
think is keeping you back.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're right. Encourage all of them to just go out. You
Of
know,
course, you know.
the president told me something. She said, just get on with it.
That's right.
You know, get on with it.
And you look at examples, and I say this about Keith all the time. Keith didn't come from a wealthy family. His grandparents, with whom he grew up with, many Trinidadians and Tobagonians, he grew up with his grandparents. He, at one point in time, when he was 5, he always tells me this story, he walked to school barefooted, and you were going miles to get to school. But he didn't let that keep him back. He moved on. He went on to high school, from high school on to university. He did his master's, did his PhD. He chose his career as a geologist, and he
Yes.
has moved out of that. So you reach for the stars. Don't let anything keep you back.
Yes.
You know,
So he's definitely a success story.
he is a success story.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, my mother I consider to be the most influential person in my life. My mother
Yeah.
grew up in Toku, and she was her mother was a housewife, her father was a farmer, and she she became a monitor after she did her school leaving, so at 14. She then left Toco and came into Port of Spain and got a job with the Ministry of Health, and she eventually met my father. They got married. And if I have to say, the female who has influenced me in my life, it is my mother. And she taught us, as did my dad, all our moral values. She taught us about integrity, honesty, scholarship, spirituality.
Yes.
And what more do you need? And just as she taught that to me, we have taught that to our girls.
Yes. If there's one thing, what is that one thing that the population doesn't know about Sharon Rowley? Share something with us that we just don't know. I mean, you shared a story about your cancer screening and your scare. I'm sure that's something that a lot of us would have learned for the first time.
That's right. And you know, I say this because it's kind of frivolous, but it's very simple. I have a purple belt in karate.
Ooh!
That's right. You know, I used to...
Hey, I might have to show you some skills around here.
As long ago as it is, I remember it very clearly. But no, I enjoyed sports at school.
Yeah.
So I would have done athletics. I did long jump, and at that time I had the long jump record. And I decided I would take up karate. Okay. And I had this feeling of confidence. I will walk through the streets. Nobody could harm me. That's what you call false.
A false sense of security.
Sense of security.
Yes.
But I felt so. I mean, I'm not sure that today I can do the same.
Right.
Because
things have
50
changed.
years ago, things have certainly changed.
Yeah.
But that is one of the things I would say.
Oh,
yes.
so a purple belt.
Yes.
Do you do any of it now still?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Any physical exercise now?
No, I actually took up golf a few years ago, and that was simply because I can be competitive. Right. And I found that Keith plays golf. I mean, why can't I play golf too? So I
tried to beat him on the field.
Well, I didn't really, but what was, I did this adult clinic, and I got the trophy for the best female or something. So he has this cabinet just next to his golf clubs and so on. So I put my trophy there so that he will see it each time he passes. And then I got another trophy, so I put it there. So, you know, understand that there's potential.
Right, right.
So,
has he ever commented on it? Because he has this dry wit about him sometimes.
Of course.
He'll just say something and the entire population laughs.
Of course he does. I don't know where he gets the sayings, you know. He has such a memory. It's really amazing. But we played golf in St. Lucia, and for some reason, I did have a caddy next to me, and he was helping me along. So I got the scorecard, and there were 1 or 2, I think, times where I beat him at it. So I've never let him forget it. So he will raise that with every single friend that he has, that, you know, I kept this scorecard, and I'm always boasting about it, and so on. But he is enjoyable when it comes to that.
Yes.
Yes.
But I mean, after so many years of marriage, obviously.
Exactly. We were married in 85, so that's a long time.
That's 36.
Yeah, 36
this year.
36 years.
36 years. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I feel proud that we could say we've been together for 36 years. I mean, I consider I always feel when he says that I'm his rock, and I say, well, you're my rock also.
Yes.
So, and I think we really are each other's support.
And that's important.
Exactly.
Especially when you're in politics and you know you have all kind of things coming at you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent.
That's right.
You know?
And it comes at you constantly.
Yes. But do you feel hurt at any time when you see it coming at him, and because it's your husband first?
Of course. I am human, and I think any woman, any wife, any spouse will feel similarly.
Yes.
You don't want to see, you know, he puts so much into this. This has become his life. His hours during the day, it's politics. Before you go to sleep, it's politics. You get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's politics. So that when you think you are doing well for the country, and you are not appreciated, you must feel, you know, that what's the point in this? And I will be very honest with you. He has said that this would be his last 5 years, and I actually look forward to the end of of his term.
Yes.
I think he has done an excellent job. Others may not think so, but I really think he has. And I think when he leaves politics, he can look back and say, this has been my legacy.
Yes, yes. So, International Women's Day, we're about to wrap. Let's just talk about, you know, for the woman out there who is struggling at this time, for whatever reason, might be family, might be education, might be money, circumstances.
That's right.
What do you say to that woman now, you know, to uplift her, you know, to offer some hope, you know, as we celebrate ourselves on this auspicious day?
To such a person, I say that you look positively at what lies ahead of you. Your circumstances, the circumstances in which you find yourself, are not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
You have persons around you who can help you, who can support you. And to all those who are around them, I say, be your sister's keeper. It's a long and a winding road. Just walk side by side with that person.
Yes.
I think if we do that, if we are our sister's keeper, if we are our brother's keeper, the world would not be the way it is.
Sharon Rowley, I want to thank you so much for speaking with us today.
My pleasure.
Yes, I think I quite enjoyed this. And you know what? Let's have another sit down sometime. Maybe we can maybe we can invite you to do a fashion show with us on TTT. Who knows?
Yes, provided you join me.
No, well, you see, I'm going to have to get the swag right. I know I'm not there as yet, darling, but I thank Claudia Pigas for this absolutely beautiful outfit. When I saw it, I was like, yes, that looks like me. Yes,
yes. Really lovely.
Thank you so much. Sharon Rowley, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Happy International Women's Day to you.
And the same to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sharon Rowley, their wife of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley. Mrs. Rowley speaking to us on the occasion of International Women's Day. And she's saying for those of you out there who are going through it, if you're feeling some type of way, just remember that your circumstances now will not always stay the same. So just keep being hopeful, keep your head up, and keep moving forward.